Hello everyone and welcome to another unit review, and today we are going to be looking at, well, I had to kind of use a friend unit. So Wilhelm, whoever your account is, because it's kind of difficult to remember, thank you very much. We're going to show yours off, and I got to admit, you got a really nice Machina here. So let's talk about Machina. Well, this guy is slightly increased for attack, but why am I... What is so good about Machina? Well, interestingly enough, I think Machina is a fairly decent starter unit. I think he's really good for beginner accounts. And there's a lot of different reasons for that. One, he's fairly strong and he's fairly newcomer friendly. So let's talk about it. First of all, his Trust Mastery. Now, it is a materia that is an auto-use, and between turn 1, 2, and 3, he gives himself different passives. So, attack, defense, magic, and spirit for turn 1, 150%, turn 2, 125%, turn 3, 100%. It's a nice way to start the battle, especially if the battle's not going to last that long. But that's not all. He also gives himself 35% attack when equipped with a sword, 15 extra percent in attack, and 10% HP when equipped with clothes. So 50% attack, 10% HP is pretty good on a materia that gives himself a buff at the start of battle. 150% is also the best buff you can kind of get in the game from buffers, so yeah, materia is pretty damn good. His Super Trust Mastery is a sword, and this sword is pretty freaking awesome. It's 163. I knew that, I just said it wrong. 163 attack sword with dual wield. Yes, this sword has natural dual wield. Oh, that's a nice thing. That's a nice thing there. Giving the ability and a strong weapon, what's not to like about that? Other than that, he has a base attack of 201 with an extra 65 stat pot, so he's not going to help you break the 2650, but he's going to be fairly strong. Also, he's a dual wield, not a true dual hand. True dual hand are the only ones who can really do it. Now, his limit burst is a 700% maxed out at 7-star, 12 hit physical attack, ignoring 50% defense, so 1400%, not bad, and a 3-turn debuff of attack and magic of 79%. Okay, alright, not bad, that's a pretty good debuff to help the team survive, so he has some debuffing skills. And you don't need his TMR to get this limit burst, that's also really nice. Magic spells, he has Curata, he has Thundaga, he has Scan, moving on. Anyway, the best thing that I like about him is that he just has natural dual wield in his kit from level 1. So if you're starting a brand new account on the Japanese side, a natural dual wield unit from level 1 is a very, very useful thing. A very useful thing. Other than that, he can deal dark damage with a 300% AoE 5-hit attack. He can drain MP, he can drain HP, he has MP recovery and HP recovery per turn, poison, blind, and virus resistance, which is all nice. Gives himself extra attack and defense, so he's more survivable, 30%, even only at his 6-star. He also has a couple of debuff abilities where he can debuff attack and magic of the enemy, different percentage, 70% first turn, 55% second turn, or, sorry, 70% for the first turn, for the next 2 turns, 55%, for the next 2 turns, 45%. I like the decreasing level that his buffs do. That's kind of cool. He also has an AoE 3-turn, 20% physical damage reduction, 50% chance to counter any physical damage on allies with 300% physical attack. Now, there's no limit posted on this counter either, so that's kind of potentially really good. I'd like to test that ability more, but I don't have the Machina. Sorry, Wilhelm, thank you so much. And you're getting some awesome praise probably in the comments section, hopefully. Then he gets an AoE 3-turn 20% magic damage reduction, giving all the team a spirit debuff resist of 100% for 3 turns. Nice, he gets extra 50% attack, limit burst fill rate, and finally in his 6-star he gets an 8-hit chaining ability that debuffs fire, ice, and thunder for 60%. All pretty good stuff for a guy who equips swords as well as, I believe, katanas and greatswords, which a lot of those have those elements on it, so he's a potentially good buff, a potentially good elemental chainer for that reason. Excuse me. By equipping his TMR, though, you get an auto-use 110% attack buff, always, and you get a, at least that's the way I read it, and a self 9,909, no, it's 99,999 turns, basically forever. 5% damage reduction and 5% magic damage reduction, and a limit burst crystal per turn. So, yeah, that's pretty nice for him to have on himself. He has to kill himself in his 7-star and give your team a full limit or summon, so always good. Although tons of typo units have that, so it's not super special. His cooldown ability is a 6-turn, recover 100% HP, and it is available turn 1. 5-turn, 200% attack bonus, which is great. Big attack bonus for him. And debuffs debuffs himself 30% for defense and grants him 1 ability for 4 turns. Other than that, 40% extra in attack, 20% magic, 20% spirit, 5% extra MP recovery per turn, and 150% damage modifier for a couple of his abilities, 75% damage modifier for one other of his ability, and a 40% equipped attack when dual wielding, which he's a natural dual wielder. There's no reason you're not going to be dual wielding with this guy. Now, the ability he does unlock is pretty awesome by using his cooldown. It's a 500% single target 8-hit physical attack that ignores 50% defense. So it's basically hitting for 1,000%. Although, well, he does get it for 4 turns, so that's pretty damn decent as well. So enough about that. Let's just kind of get him to do some damage now. Excuse me. As you can see, he can take care of the enemy pretty well. Vincent, take care of the other one. Thank you, Vincent. So, between all of the different attacks that he does have, he has a nice range of debuffing and buffing with natural dual wield. Honestly, I think Machina is a pretty damn decent unit, again, for beginner accounts. Now, I still feel that there are better dual hand units out there, but when it comes right down to it, Machina's more than just okay. I think he's actually a really decent unit that I just don't happen to like in the game that he's in. So for the big final one, we're going to show off his extra chaining ability and see how strong that is. But to do that, we're going to have to take some well, okay, Kurosame and Vincent will be fine. Everyone else, not so sure. That would be hilarious if he killed him. Apparently he has a counter ability on him. What equipment does he have? Huh. Ah, yes. The Trial Greatsword. I remember now. Alright, so now we will have access to his super ability, which he is dual wielding, so he will get to use this twice. Pretty nice, decent amount of damage he does. Good MP regeneration. a fairly decent limit burst, and natural dual wield. Honestly, it makes Machina pretty damn good for people who are starting out. It's a decent way to start a Japanese account. So that has been a quick, well, a fairly good look at Machina. I think he's great for newer players and anyone who needs just a solid true dual wielder. Now, it should be mentioned that his 8-hit attacks only chain with specific units. Specifically, the one that comes to mind is C.G. Reagan, who's also a natural true dual wielder. So, for an account who got both him and C.G. Reagan, pretty decently set up. So that's all for now. Next time, I think you know who's coming next. Yeah. See you then.